other each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having a good day. Morning, Leisure. Good to see you, man. Yep, another hot day. Another scorcher here in Denver, Colorado. I'm a fan. It's a little warm in here. I run a little warm. Yeah. You know, it's kind of weird because since I've been backing off all this stuff, I just don't really have as much to say. Adams County finally paid me. Got that accomplished. I was halfway through the letter of how I wasn't being paid because I usually send it by check. Right. And I'm like, I better go check my bank account first before I start writing a letter. And there it was. Hi, Clara. So, yeah, should probably check shit before you react to stuff, right? Glad I did that, or I'd have to make an amend. So, that's off my plate. On to the next problem. And the next situation or opportunity that I have to figure out is how I'm going to lug around power washing equipment because I don't think my car is going to be able to handle it. So if anybody has a truck, small truck that I might be able to rent, farm, or purchase slowly, didn't quite think of the big picture. God, if I'm supposed to do it, God will bring it. God will bring it. It'll happen, right? That's the way I see it. We're gonna go with purple today, although it changes really nothing. It just changes the color by my name. Here we'll go with news. That way there's more purple. This is rounded. These are my options. Those are my three options. There, that one will work. That one works best. We don't need that. Welcome to CBS Evening News, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, get a tote for the top of the car. That might not be a bad idea, except the power washing machine would probably go through the roof. But it would hold some things. And I actually have a tote out there. So I'll figure it out. But it might be best not to go buy all the equipment and do everything until I have that worked out. But that's a good idea. Thank you, Leisure. Keep the ideas coming. It's not about getting a little trailer, but I don't have a tow. It's a Honda Civic. It does not have a tow package. But maybe I can go out and get a tow package on it and then buy a little. Who knows? There's options. Whatever it is, got to be cheap. So, all right, we're reading out of a Day at a Time today. Unless you want to talk about Seventh Step again. Yeah, it's just the same readings. So, welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name's Dion. I hope you're having a good day. My day's going all right. Got up a little bit earlier today. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Trying to get up a little bit earlier. Actually, I made no choice in the matter. I was just done sleeping. It's usually how it works for me. Recovery is a road, not a resting place. All right. Every day is another day. We have a chance to help somebody, help ourselves. Yeah. We help ourselves by being better people, right? Um, so there's a lot of things that can be done each day. The way I describe it, I go to bed a recovered alcoholic, and I wake up a hopeless, helpless drunk again. And I make the decision to go to God and stay sober for that day, and that's how it works for me. When my hair is about this level, it just looks like I'm balding. Thinking about letting it grow out again. I'll probably shave it. It's still too hot. Still too hot to have the full and luscious hair. Right. So I wake up in the morning and I go to God. I plan my day. Because I usually don't have too much stuff planned during the day. I have a meeting with Community Reach Center today. We're going to be talking about the meeting and stuff, and some of the other things that they're doing. Seeing how if I might be able to help out a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. It's just a talk. I won't be committing to anything. All this stuff is going to happen when it happens. So I don't want to get caught back up in it. So the program is a road, not a resting place. Before we came to the program, and for some of us, many times afterwards, most of us looked for answers to our living problems in religions, philosophy, psychology, self-help groups, and so on. And it's still going on. It's not you know it's still happening. There's like there's like 50 million different programs, right? And you know what? I hope they work. It's just that we've tried these ways before and they didn't work. Right? Now, everything that they listed off, though, does kind of, all of these things kind of apply. Religion, but let's change that to spirituality. For this sake, philosophy, psychology, self-help groups, and so on. All of these things can help. Right? Now, let's use self-help book as an example. I found self-help books didn't work very well for me because I didn't know how to help myself. Now they work. Now that I know how to help myself, self-help books work. But I'm going to tell you, I prefer doing it with other people because I tend to learn more. Then I can get their view on things. So I'm not big on self-help books. If they work for you, we all have our preferences. But for me, I would rather sit in a group with people and discuss things, hear their ideas, things like that. That's what I would prefer. But all these things do help once you get through the 12 steps. See, I call the 12 steps a good beginning. It's going to go on here to say, do you think all the answers are in the big book? I'm going to say yes. And one of those answers is seek outside help. That's one of the answers. It says on 164, we realize we know only a little. God will disclose more to you and to us. Well, there's a bunch of professionals out there with servants' hearts that's ready to help us. Okay? But they can't help us until we get honest with ourselves. And then that's when the real help can begin. Right? Doctors and therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, none of these people can help us until we are willing to be honest. Until we can be honest with them. Do you drink? That's what the one question we always dreaded, right? Leisure says we discussed self-help on Wednesday's edition this week. That's awesome, man. Feel free to throw that link in there. On Thursdays, feel free to throw your link in here, dude. I'm fine with it. Yeah, let's get more people. So I'm just going to let people know. I podcast, but I don't listen to podcasts. I'm just not big on it. I should get better at it. I don't have anything against them. I only took half my meds here. I better take the other half. I think that's what I did yesterday too. I think that's why I'm feeling a little. Today I'm moving a little too fast in my head compared to my body. Right. So, all right. Oh, I know. I should be talking right now. Problem is, my mind tends to go to places it probably doesn't need to go. Sometimes I wonder about people I don't, uh, like I said, my head's going faster than everything else. So I ain't even gonna listen to it right now. It's not doing bad stuff. It's just I've got too much on my mind, so I got to narrow it down. I'll do that when I'm done with this. Invariably, these fields held forth the goals that were precisely what we wanted. They offered freedom, calm, confidence, and joy. But there was one major loophole. They never gave us a workable method of getting there. Now, let's hold on because yeah, they do. They do offer it, but we don't I didn't understand it. It wasn't until I came across an alcoholic who could explain it to my naive, stubborn ass that I got it. It wasn't until then. These other people were not wrong. I was unwilling to listen to them because I felt they didn't understand. And they didn't understand. Because unless you're an alcoholic, you don't understand. Right? It's kind of what sets us apart. Right? But once we understand, see, there's part of the problem. We alcoholics just aren't honest. We don't know how to be honest. At least I didn't. I'm not going to include everybody in that. You do it the way that you want to do it. Right? So, yeah. They never gave us a workable method of getting there. They never told us how to get from where we were to where we were supposed to be. Now, that person that came into my life, right, that sponsor or whoever it is that got through to you, maybe you were 12 step, maybe you had an intervention, maybe something like that, right? Right. Now they had done the work. These other people, the the religion, the philosophy, the psychology, the self-help groups, and so on, they had not done the work. So I didn't believe them. I'm like, you don't even understand it. You have no idea how I feel, but yet you're going to give me advice on how to change that. And I resisted that. If I would have been open minded, and they were not totally incorrect on what they were saying. You know, they were saying things like maybe you ought to go to an AA meeting. They're saying maybe you ought to get off that hooch first. I don't want to listen. They weren't saying the wrong things. It just I don't know why. I have no idea why it works that way. Right? It's one of the things that baffles everybody in this field. We don't have an answer to it. We can't answer the question why. In that why did I turn into an alcoholic? Well, you know, there's a lot of different valid things out there that talk about, you know, that makes sense. Maybe it's trauma, maybe you were born. I tend to think that I was born with it. I don't know that everybody was born with it. I don't know that, but I have a feeling that I was. It runs in my family along with a lot of other mental illnesses. Actually, not a lot of other mental illnesses. No, that's not true. That's just mostly me. All right. Yeah. All right. So, but a lot of these things are really good once you have completed the 12 steps. Now, for some people, the 12 steps are enough. Awesome. I think that's awesome. I really do. For me, it was not enough. The principles of the program were a really good start for me. Just yesterday, I was talking in a meeting, and what 4 and 5 did is it actually uncovered all the bullshit that I was using to keep my trauma at bay. And what happened is when that 4th and 5th step was done, and I became okay with it, and I cleared it a little bit, the volcano hit, and all my trauma came to the surface and just came out, blew its top. Okay. Do not do it the way I did it. Do not wait years and years and years. Don't wait till you're 45, 50 years old to go out and get help. Please don't do that. Or you're going to end up with the bullshit that I put up with. You don't want it. There's an easier way. I don't even like saying it that way, but there is an easier way than the way I did it. Right? And I don't want other people to have to go through that, man. If I can come on here and say it was not fucking worth it, and it wasn't. And even when I relapsed and went out, I had some great fucking times. I really did. A lot of rock stars, like touching the lead singer Gavin from Bush while on ecstasy, surrounded by a bunch of women. Wow, it was just surreal. It was weird. It was the ecstasy. Partying with the Allman Brothers, getting too drunk on tequila. Lots of stuff. I've also lived on Skid Row. I was never financially secure. I just acted like it. I was great at acting like it. Anyway, still wasn't worth it. No. I met Halle Berry because of my drinking. Sinbad, that is a one tall motherfucker. And let me tell you something about Halle Berry. Her presence literally lights up the whole fucking room, man. People are like, Halle Berry's hot. Halle Berry's hot. I'm like, yeah, she's all right. I met her in person. It isn't that she's hot, it's that she's beautiful inside and out. She is. Yeah. That was the same night that I yelled at Simon Cowell. I owe Simon Cowell an amends. I don't. He doesn't even fucking remember me. But I yelled at him. We were doing a photo shoot. I was at the second season of American Idol. Ruben Studdard and Clay Aiken. So a long time ago. Right? Back when Simon Cowell was still an asshole. When I tell you now, people can change, and Simon Cowell is now a pretty cool dude, right? He changed. But we're doing this promotional photo shoot, and he's getting all quippy. He's like, can we hurry this up? I've got better things to do. And I said, yeah, I don't want to stand next to this asshole for longer than I need to either. Can we get this going on? Because he was standing right next to me like I was some inconvenience. And I don't give a fuck who you are. You talk shit to me or around me, especially when I'm drinking, I'm going to run my mouth. And I did. That is not the only superstar I have yelled at. God gives me these wonderful opportunities, and then I yell at the people. All right, enough of those stories. All right, do I truly believe that I can find everything that I need and really want through the 12 steps? I'm going to give a solid answer of yes. Everything that I need is in the big book. Sometimes those answers lead me to something else, though. Sometimes the answer is I need to ask God for guidance and then look for the answer. That is usually what I need to do. And the big book has taught me how to do that. It taught me how to clear away the wreckage of the past. It taught me how to be a better father, how to be a better brother, how to be a better husband. That's what it taught me. It taught me not to take myself so fucking seriously. It has taught me a lot of things, and it is not done teaching me. I have not caught every nuance in those 164 pages yet, and I'm a big book thumper. And by that, this means I really have it memorized. There's a good chance I know what page it's on. It's part of my dyslexia. I tend to memorize things. It's just how I work. Everybody's got their own special stuff. They do. And that's just one of mine. That reminds me this was years and years ago. My wife said, honey, you're just good at everything you do. And I said, no, I just don't try new stuff. That was the truth. I think I was drinking. I think I was still drinking then. All right. All right. Today I pray. May I know that once through the 12 steps, I am not on a plain surface. For life is not a flat field, but a slope upward. And those flights of steps may be taken over and over and remembered. Now, I do not, for me, it is not an upward slope the whole fucking time. I'm sorry. I don't feel like I'm going on an upward slope today. I feel calm. I feel serene. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with leveling off for a little bit. There's nothing wrong. But what I'm not going to do is let that turn into laziness. That's kind of what they're talking about. Okay. That is easy to give up on the spiritual program of action and rest on our laurels. All right. That's kind of what they're getting to there. But there is nothing wrong. But let's say you're having a good day and you just want to enjoy it. Fucking do it, man. It is okay. We don't have to have exponential growth every single day. We don't need it. It's what I've found. Sometimes it's very little. But if you think it's like this all the time, no, sometimes it's like this. Might even be like that. Sometimes it's like this, maybe even a little down. Sometimes it's kind of fun to run downhill, isn't it? All right. But that doesn't mean I'm going backwards. Right. So it doesn't need to be arduous the whole way. That's not fair to you. Might be some days that you're just like, you know what? Today I'm doing what I want to do for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because now your will is in line with God. So even if you go do things that are just for you, it's still going to be good for others. You're still getting out of self. So good job. That's how it works. When you take care of you and you're doing it with God's will, you are still taking care of others. You're still helping others by saying, see, it's okay to just go ahead and have a good day with nothing going on. All right. So not everything in this program needs to be arduous. We don't need to make it harder than it needs to be. It's already kind of tough to do. But having a good attitude certainly helps. Right. Today I'll remember the steps are not a road. I really said that wrong, didn't I? The steps are a road, not a resting place. Thank you, Lystexia, for mixing that up for me. That was awfully kind. All right. I think that's going to be it for this one. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Whether you think so or not. Peace out. And have a day.